have already learned what a subject is, and we have also learned that a subject and the verb in a sentence must agree with each other. Now, the basic rule is a verb must agree with its subject in number and person. That means when we have a singular subject, we normally use a singular verb. When we have a plural subject, we normally use a plural verb. Now, there are some more rules regarding subject-verb agreement which we are going to learn today. The fishing boat along with the fisherman is lost at sea. Now here in this case, what do we see? What is our subject? The subject is the fishing boat along with the fisherman. This entire thing together is the subject. So if I ask what is lost at sea? The fishing boat along with the fisherman. That will be our subject. But what else do we notice? In this long subject, there is a part, the fishing boat, and then there is another part along with the fisherman, which is separated by a comma. Now, this portion is actually not considered when we have to decide upon the verb. So, the verb of this sentence will actually agree with the fishing boat only and not with along with the fisherman. So, the rule is when a singular subject is joined with words such as with, along with, as well as, etc., then the verb must be singular. So, in this case, we have along with. Now, the subject here is singular, fishing boat. So, here boat is denoting one particular boat, therefore it is singular, and we have along with the fishermen. Now, though in this part fishermen is actually plural, still we are not going to consider it. Here the number of this particular noun will decide what verb we are going to use. Since boat is singular, we have used a singular verb in this case. The fishing boat along with the fishermen is lost at sea. Harshita as well as Sohail has gone to the park. Now in this sentence as well, Harshita is the name of a person, so it is singular, and what do we have? As well as Sohail. So here is another phrase joined with as well as, then we have has gone to the park. Now since our subject here Harshita is singular, so we have used has gone. But if you try to understand the meaning, we actually mean that two people have gone to the park. But because we have joined the part using as well as, we are just going to consider this portion as our subject and accordingly place a singular verb and not a plural verb. So in using such words like along with as well as, we need to be careful to note what part goes before as well as or along with. If this particular part is plural, then the verb will be plural. If this part is singular, the verb will be singular. So even though the meaning of this subject is actually giving a plural sense, that is Harshita as well as Sohail. So we are referring to both Harshita and Sohail, and we are referring to two people, still our subject is singular. Also we need to know that after as well as, even if we have a plural noun, we are still going to use a singular verb if the noun preceding as well as is singular. The new library with its many books dash being inaugurated today. Now in this case, what do we see? The new library with its many books. So this entire part is our subject. Now in this case, what is the main subject or the proper subject? It is the library, because what do we see? This part with its many books has this word with. So the part following with its books is actually plural because books denote more than one book. So this part is plural, but this part is preceded by with, and before with we have the noun library which is singular. So in this case the verb will be decided by the number of this noun library. Since this part is singular, we are going to use a singular verb in this blank. So our answer would be the new library with its many books is being inaugurated today. So this is decided by the noun library. Fill in the blank using is or are. Now what is the sentence? The cow as well as the deer dash herbivorous. Now here what are we going to use? Are we going to use is or are? Now first let us look at the subject of the sentence. In this case the subject of the sentence is the cow as well as the deer. Now we see that we have a phrase as well as in this sentence. Now the noun before as well as is the most important thing for us to decide what verb we are going to use. So here we have the cow. Now the cow is singular. So we are going to use a singular verb in this case, because even though we are referring to two animals, the cow as well as the deer. Now when we have a subject with a phrase as well as included in that, what we consider is the noun which comes before as well as in order to decide the verb. So in this case, the cow is the most important noun that will decide whether the verb will be is or are. Since cow is singular, we have used is. If it had been the cows in this case, then the verb would have been are. My sister's dress is good, but my dress is better. Now this sentence is showing a comparison. So here sister's dress is singular, so the verb is singular. Here my dress is singular, therefore the verb is also singular. Now we can say the same thing in another way. What can we say? My sister's dress is good, but mine is better. Now here we have something very important to note. Now this sentence has two parts. The first part is my sister's dress is good. Now in this part there is no complication. Why? Because my sister's dress is already singular subject. So accordingly we have used a singular verb is. But look at this particular part of the sentence. Mine is better. Now mine is a possessive pronoun in this case. Now this possessive pronoun can either refer to a singular possession or a plural possession. So how do we decide whether to use is or are? Now the rule is when you have a possessive pronoun in the second part of a sentence that is showing a comparison, you have to go back and look at the first part. Now here the subject in the first part is singular. So we will have to consider that this mine is also going to be singular. Hence we have to use is better. So if this sentence was not there, my sister's dress is good but my dress is better. If you only had my sister's dress is good but mine is better, what we would have understood was that my sister's dress is good but my dress is better. So this mine will always refer to my dress and never my dresses. So if you had a sentence like my sister's dress is good but my dresses are better, this sentence cannot be written as my sister's dress is good but mine are better, because in this case the subject in the first part of the sentence is singular. As a result, this possessive pronoun will always refer to singular possession. If we have to write my dresses, then we will have to write my dresses. We cannot replace my dresses with mine in this case. However, if we had written my sister's dresses are good but my dresses are better, then we could have easily written it as my sister's dresses are good but mine are better. Now if we say my paintings are good but her paintings are brilliant. Now in this case what do we see? My paintings, plural subject. So we have a plural verb. Similarly her paintings, this is a plural subject, hence are is a plural verb. Now this can be rewritten as My paintings are good, but hers are brilliant. Now here you see that this is the possessive pronoun hers, and here we have used a plural verb are. Why? Because the subject in the previous part of the sentence was plural. Therefore, the subject in the second part will also be considered as plural if it is used in the form of a possessive pronoun. However, in this case, if we want to mention this part as singular, then we will have to write my paintings are good, but her painting is brilliant. Now let us look at another type of sentence. Those who work here are mostly very poor. Now here, what is the subject? Those who work here. This entire part is the subject. Now here the proper subject is those. Those refers to plural. Therefore, we have used a plural verb with it. Those are mostly very poor. Now look at the subject once again. Those who work here. Now this subject has another part, who work here. Now this who is also another subject. Work is a verb. Now how do we decide the verb in this case? Now here who is referring to those. Therefore who is also plural in this case. So the verb work will be a plural verb because it is referring to those once again. So we have used a plural verb in this case as well and in this case. Now this particular part, who work here, is describing those, and those who work here entirely is the subject of the sentence. Similarly, if we had one who works here is from a remote village. Now in this case, what is the subject? One who works here. Now one is already telling us that this part is singular. Therefore, we are going to use a singular verb is. Now in this case too, the subject has another part, who works here. Now this who is referring to one. That means this who is also a singular subject. Accordingly, works will be a singular verb. So works is the singular form of the verb work, and we have used a singular form. So who works here is describing one, and this part is becoming singular, whereas one is related to this verb. So even is a singular verb. So in sentences like these, you see that the subject is complex. So within the subject, we have another subject and verb coming together, and those parts also need to follow the same rule. If we have a plural subject within that, it should also have a plural verb. Similarly, if it has a singular subject within that, it should have a singular verb. So accordingly, the sentence needs to be constructed properly. The number of letters that have been dispatched is large. Now here once again we see that the subject is pretty large. So what is the subject in this case? The number of letters that have been dispatched. This entire part is the subject of the sentence. Now within the subject, if you notice, you will see that the number of letters that have been dispatched. Now this part, that have been dispatched, is actually referring to letters. So this that denotes the letters. Therefore, that is a plural subject in this case. Accordingly, have been dispatched is a plural verb which is used. So this particular part, that have been dispatched, is describing letters, and letters being plural, that denotes a plural subject. Accordingly, we have a plural verb, have been dispatched. Now let us look at the other part of the subject. In this case, what do we see? The number of letters. Now here, number is the noun to be considered. Of letters is describing or modifying the word number. Number of what? Of letters. And this part, that have been dispatched, is modifying letters. So what do we see? One part is describing letters and of letters is describing number. So the proper subject of this sentence is number. Now number is denoting singular noun, hence we have used a singular verb in this case. Now let us look at this example. Several cans of oil that has been imported from abroad are damaged. Now in this sentence, what is the subject? Several cans of oil that has been imported from abroad. This entire part is our subject. Now within this subject we see there is another part having the subject and the verb included within. Now what is that? That has been imported from abroad. Now here, what is this part describing? It's describing oil. Which oil are we talking about? The oil that has been imported from abroad. So what is that referring to? That is referring to the noun oil. Now we know that oil is an uncountable noun. So uncountable nouns are always followed by singular verbs. So in this case too, we see after that we have used a singular verb, has been imported, because that is referring to an uncountable noun. So that has been imported from abroad. This part is describing the noun oil. Now what is it? Of oil. This part is describing the noun cans. So the proper subject of our sentence is cans. So the proper sentence is several cans are damaged. Now this cans, what cans are we talking about? We are talking about the cans of oil. And what oil are we talking about? The oil that has been imported from abroad. So the entire part of oil that has been imported from abroad is describing this noun cans. Hence the verb are is determined by cans. Now cans being a plural noun, we have used the plural verb are damaged. Fill in the blanks with the correct options. The car which dash beside the gate dash ours. And what are the options given to us? Is or are. Now let us understand the sentence carefully. The car which dash beside the gate. Now here, which is referring to which noun? It's referring to car. The car is a singular number. So this singular noun will have a singular verb. So which refers to a singular noun. Hence, we are going to use a singular verb is. So the car which is beside the gate. Dash ours. Now, which noun is governing the verb to be placed in this case? What is ours? The car is ours. So this car is related to this verb that is to be placed here. So car is singular, therefore the verb to be used here will also be singular. So this should be also is. So the car which is beside the gate is ours. So what did we do? First, which dash beside the gate? So we have to understand which noun is this part describing. If that noun is singular, then we will also have to use a singular verb as we have done it in this case. Accordingly, we have to understand what is the proper subject of the sentence. Now in this case, the gate is not the subject that will determine whether the subject is going to be singular or not. Here we have to understand that the main or the proper subject of this verb is the car and not the gate. So accordingly, we will have to see if the subject and the verb agree or not. Now today we have learned about some very important rules related to subject-verb agreement. Now some of them might seem very confusing and complicated, but they are actually not. So the more you practice, the better you understand. So try and take up more examples with such sentences, and I'm sure in no time you are going to master it. We are going to learn about some more rules related to subject-verb agreement in the coming lectures. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged, and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You can also win amazing prizes like PlayStation, iPad, watches and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.